All right, welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of Bears Film Room. My name is Dave, joined by my good friend, co-host Vicky. We cover the Bears for SM, and today we're going to go ahead and do a pregame for the Bears versus Vikings. It's a big one. If you win this, the chances, I think, increase for the Bears, go to 66% for the playoffs. If you lose it, I think it goes to 34. That kind of just shows how big this game is for both teams. So super excited to get to this one. We have some news off the top as well that we're going to go ahead and it's from Adam Schefter about just the Bears and what they were looking to do at the trade deadline. Kind of a crazy nugget that was dropped. I think it was yesterday. But Vic, before we hop into the show, how you doing, man, on this Saturday morning?
Doing good. Love these Saturday pods. Yeah. It's always nicer when your team, won the previous week. So I'm excited. IU, I think, plays today, so continue their win streak. Bears tomorrow continue their win streak. It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah, the win streak would be number 3 for the Bears. So it'd be
win number 3 for the Bears. Yeah, 3 for the Bears and 11 for IU. So I never would have thought, if you'd have asked me 9 months ago, would the Bears and both my football teams actually be winning. So I'm excited about that.
But that would have been.
They've won 6 out of the last 7 too.
But it would have been 7 out of the last 8 if they win tomorrow. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That right there is kind of crazy.
Because remember, they started 0-2, and we thought, oh shit, season's over. They got the brakes beaten off by Detroit. They lost by like 30 plus. You're like, up, same old Bears, and then boom, they won 6 straight. They won 4 straight, lost 1, and then now they're looking to get that streak back up to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, we'll see. We're going to get into that pregame here in a minute. Cannot wait. Kind of nervous. Like I really need 7-3. We were talking about it off air. 7-3. I know we talked about the playoff chances, but just looking at your team that has a 7-3 record,
crazy.
It's quite beautiful. So, but let me go ahead and we'll go ahead and move on to, again, it's a real brief, but I just want to really talk about it because obviously the Bears, they went ahead and looked at acquiring, was it Jay? What was his name? JST?
Oh, Jermaine Johnson?
Defensive end? No, the defensive end from Cleveland.
JT
Shoyanka, right?
Yeah, Shoyanka. Yeah, JTS. Mm-hmm.
I can never say his last name. Anyways, apparently when they began that process, and this is from Adam Schefter, he appeared on WGN TV, and some of the updates he provided that the Bulls were they did acquire obviously Shoyanka, but they asked about another name to start, and it was actually Myles Garrett. And so that right there was I just was sitting there and I'm reading, I'm like, no way. But apparently to kind of read a little bit more, they went ahead and reached out to him. Obviously the cost was going to be astronomical. They already gave him a huge deal. And I don't believe, from what I'm reading here, it looks like the Browns were not budging. But he just was not going to be made available. And so, but it is quite the splash and the heist that they could have done. And it makes me interesting. Ryan Poles I think they talked about it. What other calls did you make? And I think he mentioned we made every call. Every player, I think, didn't mention Myles Garrett or, Max Crosby or Trey Hendrickson by name, but you could tell, at least from this one, from what Shefty gave us, it looks like Chicago started with Myles Garrett and they're like, okay, backup plan, Shoyanka. But real quick, we don't have to spend too much time on that, Vic, but that would have been nuts.
That'd have been fucking crazy. But the amount you would have had to given up, I probably would have not been. I would have been happy because the trade is obviously for a future Hall of Famer, right? Like, this is Myles Garrett still playing good. I'm playing really well this year, 29 years old, going on the age of 30. Like, it doesn't look like he's slowed down a bit. But holy shit, what we had to given up would have been crazy. You thought 2 firsts for Micah Parsons was much, right? Now, well, no, because we still have to eat up that contract. It would depend on like who's eating what part of what contract. The dead
and he's
cap
the
money
highest paid
correct
non-quarterback in NFL history.
Yeah, so it would have been expensive. I am not a fan of trading for expensive players. I'm not, because there's two forms of risk you're taking on now. You're taking the risk of the player performing at the rate of which they performed on their previous team, which is a risk of any time you're trading any type of player, right? The better ones, that risk goes down. But then the risk of the cap management aspect, the money you got to bring on, because remember, you are then taking on the deal that was signed with the intent of what the team wanted, which means that it may not have been the exact deal that you would have done, but now you have to take that deal on because you're trading for the player. So I guess by transitive properties, you probably are saying we would have paid him that money, but it's a money risk and it's a player risk. Now, I'm not going to complain if you have Myles Garrett on your team, because the Bears would have been better and they probably would have given themselves a really good shot in the playoffs. But as we've talked about, Dave, they're not one player away. They're not. Yeah, if this is like, I don't know, what's a real contender? Like, to be honest, if Drake May and the Patriots, they make that move, I'd be like, okay, like Drake May's playing fantastic right now. You guys are at 9-2, one of the best teams in the league. Maybe that is the player you're missing, right? Go make that move. You have your quarterback on your rookie contract. Go do that. We're not quite there yet, and that's okay. But maybe there's something like that next year where there's a disgruntled star or someone who's on the market that you wouldn't expect to be on the market, and you kind of make that trade. But I just don't think this year there's too much risk involved. You know what I mean? Let's get this team to kind of figure things out through their first year, and then next year we can have a better understanding.
I agree. I'm not trying to give up anything like that. A Khalil Mack type package. And who knows, Myles Garrett would have been perhaps even more. And then the contract as well. We've talked about it. Building through the draft is super important. I think this is the route I want to see this team go. Yeah. And you can maybe make an impactful trade at the deadline next year or in the years to come. But anything like this, where it's so expensive, it kind of makes me nervous. So
also, I'm interesting. Oh, yeah, I'll put it up right after this. But it's interesting to see how they would have traded for him with the contract restructuring, because we only have $7 million in our salary cap for this year. So they would have had, that's what I'm wondering, like, there would have had to been a lot of financial, magic tricks.
I think a player's gone.
Oh, for sure. You're going to have to.
Like, I wouldn't be shocked if Sweat's gone, which would be counterintuitive, but
maybe like a DJ Moore, maybe like something you have to offload a contract that isn't too much of a big dead cap hit on yourself, but to take on that contract, because we don't have a bunch of money, and next year we don't have that much money either. So not saying it can't be done. Obviously they can restructure a whole bunch of shit, but it would have been not as easy as just saying, here's our 2 picks, right? Here's our 2 first rounders. But I don't want to do that, because as well, into here, like, we're looking at some of these first round picks now, or even Pole's last 2 drafts,
right?
If Colston Loveland he's starting to come in his own, Luther Burden come into his own, Caleb Rome, Darnell Wright, it's like those first round picks looking kind of valuable, right? Like, if we were to say right now, obviously I like to do the 3-year window with all of these rookies, right? Or second-year players. I want to give them 3 years to really determine where they are. But if you were saying, do they look like they're going to be hits in year 3? And we're just looking at first and second rounders for Ryan Pole's draft. I would say Caleb Williams, yes. Roma Dunze, yes. Darnell Wright, yes. Colston Loveland, yes. Luther Burden, yes. The ones that you still are maybe, which is this year's, would be Shamar Turner, but he's been injured all year, so it's hard to tell. Mm-hmm. And then Ozzie Trapillo, he didn't win the starting job, but you're like, okay, maybe he could be something. But that's to say, if you feel good about, you're hitting around like 70-80% in your first rounders, I don't want to give that up. We saw how it was with the Ryan Pace era and how we never got to pick first rounders. And when he did, he didn't hit on them either. But I just feel like you said, build through the draft. And then when you are like 1 player away, that's where you make the splash.
Sure. So I agree. I agree, Fick. Let's go ahead and get to our super chat. And we have other couple comments I want to get to as well.
Absolutely. Love the Avi as always. Sweetness34, who is Daniel Jones, Patreon member. Appreciate you, Daniel Jones. Said, hey, Ficky and Dave, have a great show, gents. Huge game tomorrow. And as Bart Scott said, can't wait. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching from across the pond on this early morning, which is probably afternoon for you, but really do appreciate it, Daniel Jones. Thank you for the $10 or £10, I should say, super chat. Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Daniel Jones, that always throws me off.
I know.
A lot of good mornings. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Again, we're about 100, I think, subscribers away from 11K on YouTube. So hit that like button, subscribe. We have a big game from Burden this week. I cannot wait to see his involvement here, Vic.
Yes.
We're going to get to it, but I think when we look at the percentage of snaps after Sunday, he should probably be up there. And then we have kudos to Ben for telling polls to keep those picks. Yeah, I love that story. I think it's from Nat Geo on YouTube. I think Ben definitely plays a role in here. But I think there's a lot of collaboration. Collaboration. I know Bears fans is kind of like a trigger word, but
yeah, for sure.
I really think that's the case here, where Poles is maybe learning from some of his mistakes, his aggressiveness. But I like that he's still being, semi-aggressive, exploring all options. That's what he should be doing. It's his job.
Yeah, absolutely. He better be calling during every trend line. You better be ringing every single thing.
I wish we had somebody like Howie Roseman, where he just always seems to get what he wants.
Recently though, because if you go back, because I can't remember when we talked about this. Maybe we played the Eagles last year, but Howie Roseman's journey is interesting because the Eagles basically, they bought Howie Roseman stock even when things are going well. People forget Howie Roseman's been with the Eagles for like 10 plus years. There was a stint where he was not doing well in the draft and everybody was coming for Howie Roseman's head. And the Eagles were like, no, we're going to stick with you. So he had like a good patch, a shitty patch, and then now he's back on his shit. So it kind of goes to that same philosophy that we have been harping here with the Bears. It's like consistency. Can we not have it where a coach is gone? It's a new quarterback, a GM's gone, and you're kind of playing like this roundabout musical chairs. Like, can we get people in where it's like, okay, we're all aligned here, which they did this year, right? Caleb, Ben Johnson, and Ryan Poles are all aligned contractually, basically, till was that 2032, whenever Caleb's 5th year is up, right? Let's do that so then we all feel confident about where we're at and we can have more of that collaboration because nobody's worried about their job. So I think that's like, if you want the Howie Roseman, not saying this will make a Howie Roseman, but if you want that, you got to have your organization in a full buy-in to say, yep, I'm sticking with these guys. Even if there's some rough patches, we're going to have this consistency because we have the same goal and mission moving forward. And the Bears have done that for the first time that I can ever remember. Because there's always, it seems like, the GM's not aligned with the coach because he knows he's on the hot seat coming out. There's a new head coach, or it's a new head coach with a quarterback that's on its way out the door. We've seen that so many times. Or the vice versa. You got a new quarterback like Justin Fields, but you got the GM and the head coach worried about their job. Same thing with Mitch Trubisky, right? John Fox, Mitch was new. John Fox was on his way out. So I feel a little bit better from an organizational standpoint. We still have to play games on Sunday, but I feel better because it seems like there's more alignment. And so that can hopefully give you fruitful results that you see in the Eagles. And it might take some time, but maybe, let's say Poles gets another extension. Ben Johnson's still here, right? That second bout or second stint. There we go. Second stint. Maybe that's where you start to say, oh, Poles is kind of, he's kind of winning here. How'd he get that deal? How'd he get that? So it'll be interesting to see, right? But I just think that context is important because I don't think we've seen that yet from like all three faces lined up, and they actually did it this year. We'll see if it works. They still got to play games, still got to win games, but I think that's going to help them in the future.
No, I think you're 100% right there, Vic. We'll see if Ben Johnson and Ryan Poles get to another, second this would be third contract for Ryan.
Yeah.
But, if they're in tandem where he gets extended again along with Ben in a couple of years, that means things are going really well, really well. That means Caleb's the guy more than likely. And yeah, the cycle of suck would no more be.
Yeah,
it would cease to exist.
Yeah, it takes a lot though. You have to get all three right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Eagles got Howie Roseman, they got Nick Sirianni, and they also have Jalen Hurts, right? Like it's not like Jalen's the best quarterback, but he's one of the most winningest quarterbacks in NFL history. So you got all three of them to be above average, and so therefore you feel confident. Like, yep, check.
Yeah,
and you keep them extended. So Not
Yeah,
an easy
I'm
task
excited
to do.
about this team. This team it seems like they haven't played their best football, but they're still capable of playing better, which is good. And they talked about how early on, I think this was in not Hard Knocks, but the 1920 football drive the Bears put out, talked about early on, everyone's trying to learn this thing. Like there was penalties, pre-snap false starts, but now it's more of, okay, they're just going out there and playing. It's more fast. They're not thinking as much. So the penalties, which you've seen the last four games, where it's just it hasn't been as prevalent. The frequencies, it's gotten a lot better. And so these guys are really locked in now and able just to play fast. And we'll see what Luther Bird and some of these guys can maybe start to contribute. Loveland's really coming on fast too. We've seen it obviously with the game winner a couple weeks ago, some big catches last week. So I'm super stoked to see what this team can do. Must-win game tomorrow, which that's what we're gonna go ahead and transfer over to and talk about and preview the Bears versus Vikings. Before we do, we'll take our first break. Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you're here this morning. Though, appreciate y'all.
First off, thank you for watching the BFR podcast, the #1 show for the fans by the fans. If this is your first time here, please like and subscribe, as it just helps our show grow and helps the algorithm get this show out to other awesome, amazing Bear fans like y'all as we're trying to grow this community. If this is your first time, also leave a hashtag New Face Gang in the chat. That's hashtag New Face Gang in the chat, and we'll give you a shout out before the end of the show. And if this is not your first time, this is your second time, you've watched over 100 episodes or anything in between, then you are a true OG, and we want to show you some love as well. So please leave a hashtag OG in the chat, and we'll make sure to give you a shout out before the end of the show. Thank y'all for all the support for the #1 show for the fans by the fans, the BFR podcast. Now let's get back to the show.
Absolutely. Sport's been unreal. Not much more I can say on it. So let's go ahead and I'm really stoked about this injury report for the Bears. I'm not sure I should know this by now in our pregame shows, but let's start off Bears versus Vikings preview.
Yeah, let's do it. Looking at the injury report, I don't know how they fit all the names on here. I feel like it's half the roster, but what's most important is looking at Friday, you see that most of those names are full. But so the biggest ones to take away from this is TJ Edwards did not participate all week. He is out, right? Don't know if they say hammy. I'm sure it's more the hand than the hammy. I mean, more of the hammy than the hand, because he can probably play with a club. Jade Walker, concussion, so he's out. Not that big of a deal there. The big one here was Jaquan Brisker. He had a back issue, did not participate Wednesday or Thursday. He was limited Friday. I think he said on Twitter or applied to someone on Twitter that he's expected to play. Said question.
Are you talking about Brisk?
Yeah.
He was asked actually in the locker room, and he said he essentially was like, well, actually, you keep going through it. I'll get the exact quote. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, it's good. And then another one on here, which is, I think this is the biggest news of the week. We heard that Jaylon Johnson got put on the 21-day practice schedule window, right? But he shows up as questionable, and he was limited on Friday. That is very interesting, because I don't know if you were picked questionable because if you do a limited practice, you have to be listed as questionable. But I do not expect him to play this week. Even though it says questionable, I am viewing that as out, and I'm not even sure if I want to rush him back for that. The 21-day window, though, I will say ends on December, I think it's like 14th, which is a couple days before the December 17th game against the Packers. So it looks like his game back will be that first matchup against the Packers. I think that's the first matchup. Yeah. So I'm almost like, hey, let's wait till then. Don't throw him out here against the Vikings. Let's have him ready to go against that division rival, obviously one of the biggest games of the year. But just interesting to see that news came out of nowhere. There was a report that came out that someone, like his doctor or something, posted on IG stories showing him working out, that like he was ready back to go. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm expecting him like in a month or so. Like I was expecting we'd get him like week 17 or 18, but hearing we might get him back week 14, I'll take that. We need the help as much as we can get.
I agree on that. Before we get to Jaylon, or my thoughts on him, Brisker did say he expects to play. Simple as that. So, it would be not devastating, but we need him healthy just because the Bears are already kind of limited. But I think with Jaylon Johnson being listed as questionable, it's quite amazing. It's like incredible. elevated, open that 21-day practice window. I don't think he plays Sunday. I would be shocked. But what this means, though, is what does next week look like against the Steelers?
Steelers, yeah, that could be something.
Like if he's already questionable and he's limited, that would be really quick turnaround. But man, you get him before the Packers game too, more than likely, which is great because you got those divisional games with the Lions and Green Bay back-to-back weeks. So
yeah,
we'll see, man. I'll tell you right now, Jaylon probably doesn't come back if this Bears team isn't 6-3 right now. You win tomorrow though, 7-3. We're all human. Jaylon Johnson, he wants to win. He wants to play in big games. That's what he's talked about. He's like he's tired of losing. He was drafted in 2020, so I mean he's went through a lot of losing. To be able to play in meaningful games late in the year, I know it's the human aspect, and that's why we got our trainers and the Bears, training staff. They're going to make sure he's at least it's safe for him to go out there, but he is going to push himself. And I truly believe that. So he's already gotten paid. Money saved. So I expect him to try and come back as quickly as possible, which we're already seeing. And it was really fun to see him out there.
I think Ben Johnson doubled down on that in his most recent press conference. Says, obviously Jaylon's wanting to get out there. He missed training camp. He missed mini camp, came back, played week 1, and then literally got injured again, and he hasn't played since. So it's been a rough start for him injury-wise. I'm sure he is biting at the bit to get out on the field.
Let me share this?
Let's do it.
So Jaquan Brisker was asked about Jaylon Johnson returning to Bears practice. I'm going to go ahead and share this clip here. I think it's pretty. I like this one. I really do. So here's Brisker on what it means to get Jaylon Johnson back out on the practice field.
Yeah, seeing Jaylon out there was amazing. I know he's been through. We've been working hard since Vegas, and obviously I left before he got hurt. There, and obviously when he got hurt against Detroit, he had been running from my face and things like that. But to see him, overcome that journey, things like that, and see him back on the field, smiling, touching grass, and things like that, it was amazing. So
little things like that,
yeah, that's huge.
Goes a long way. Jaylon Johnson, that would be huge for the Bears to be able to bring him back, get Kyler Gordon back hopefully in the next 2 weeks too. And then you got CJ Gardner-Johnson, the pickup too. I mean, this Bears secondary could go from leaky, right? Inconsistent to, perhaps lockdown, like a no-fly zone, especially having Jaylon Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson still playing pretty well. And then Jaylon Johnson has that effect, similar to like what they want with Montez Sweat, the multiplier, right? Jalen's going to shut down perhaps half a field sometimes. They're just not going to throw his way.
Well, think about it. The defense will, if like full healthy, let's say, this team's fighting for a playoff spot or even getting the playoffs, right? TJ Edwards would be back. Kyler Gordon would be back. Jaylon Johnson would be back. Just those 3 names alone is huge for this defense. You still have some weaknesses on the defensive line, but you cannot tell me that those 3 names does not significantly make your defense better. It's not putting them in top 5, but if they're 25 right now, you can't tell me that those 3 players alone don't take it from 25 to like maybe 15. Like it's that, especially with Jaylon Johnson, a top 5 corner in the league. So yeah, it's gonna be huge. That's why I'm like, don't rush it. Like if this team's truly fighting for spots, like he can miss another game. Make sure that he is fully to go because we cannot have him out there then just to lose him again. That would be devastating for this team.
Yeah, must win game tomorrow. I gotta say, we'll see.
For sure.
Let's get to the rest of our game preview here. Look at the Vikings injury report. Oh, actually, of course. I take that back. I take that back.
Yeah,
I miss TJ Edwards. I truly do. That's one thing I wanted to talk about. Man, I know Noah Sewell's playing better. It's the most snaps he's ever played. He's staying healthier. But man, TJ. The way that he can affect the game, right? One thing that comes to mind is he's very, gets his hands on everything. So essentially, he tips it. Obviously, Tremaine Edmonds came down with a pick, I think, against the Bengals.
Bengals, yep.
But it's like Edwards said, I don't get that interception without TJ. He's everywhere. And so it's like you miss that type of playmaking where he can just affect so much, especially in the run game too. I hope we can get back. And hamstrings are so tricky.
Yeah.
But getting him back, I think, is so underrated. You don't have a Jack Sanborn. I know Noah Sewell's playing well, but you just don't have It's a replacement level player.
Yeah, but Noah. So I'd say the first half of the year, Noah was playing much better. I feel like the past couple. First of all, he had that horrible 4th down missed tackle that almost lost him the game against the Giants. Right, you had him right there. You get blown up in the backfield. You got to make that tackle. But he's been decent in the run game, but his pass coverage,
He's
feel
too
like
slow.
the past 2 games, you can tell the difference in his pass coverage. Definitely the weakness of his game, which that's not a weakness for TJ Edwards. So yes, right. having your player, honestly, if you talk about the signings of Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards, TJ has been the better player like through the time.
I don't know, man.
Well,
this year alone no, you're 100% right, but it's like Edwards this year. I think he's reaching like an maybe all pro. He's flirting with it really because the turnovers,
90 tackles already.
I 100% agree with you. Edwards has looked like the better player, but it's like the problem is the ceiling for Edwards is like
not the same. Well, yeah, they're different.
And I mean, Edwards. Yeah, he's 6'5". His ceiling it's like Edwards cannot get to Edwards cannot get to. He can't go much higher. Edwards has that ability. He's always had. That's why they paid him, right? They envisioned him being such a huge playmaker, and he is just starting to, I think, just maybe start to get to finally reach that potential that Chicago kind of envisioned for him. And I think it's a direct effect because of the scheme and Dennis Allen. Like
definitely
he is playing so much better, so comfortable. And
they moved him. One of the biggest ones is because they moved him week 2. They moved.
He's now longer a middle.
Yeah, he's not Mike anymore. They put him on the will, and he's been playing much better at the will.
But they envisioned him playing that Brian Urlacher type role, and then, like you said, that switch, it's really unlocked him. It seems like just a better fit. So
yeah,
hats off to Dennis Allen this year, man.
Yeah, so maybe that's the move. But yeah, having TJ Edwards back is obviously going to be
helpful. Please.
Tremaine Edmonds, obviously his ceiling's higher. He's also younger. He's only 27, still been in the league 8 years, which is crazy. 9 years, I think. So yeah, the ceiling for Edmonds is definitely higher.
And that duo is really, really good.
They've been the most consistent position group for the past 3 years for this team. So yeah, getting him back is going to be huge. And as we know, this defense has been very inconsistent. A lot of that due to those injuries. So hopefully week 14, 15, 16, right, where it matters the most, you need them back, getting ready for the playoffs. Hopefully those guys are ready to rock and roll. Okay, speaking of rocking and rolling, the Vikings are basically fine, like most teams. The biggest one on there, though, you have to call out Jonathan Grenard. And that is a big name, right?
That's a huge name.
Huge name, yes. Jonathan Grenard has been
the only guy that was going to be able to touch Caleb. The only guy that could touch him in the first game was Grenard. Yeah. And we saw what Caleb wasn't even – I'm sorry to interrupt here. No, I think this is just so massive because last week, Burns, right, the Giants' defensive line, they could not get it. They could not touch it. Or they could touch him. They could grab him. They couldn't bring him down. Yeah. It was unbelievable. And so now you're telling me Grenard, you can bring that back up. Yeah. Who else? Is that the only one?
Brian Kelly. It's just Kelly. Yeah. That's their starting center.
But I just feel like that's such a huge – because, I mean, he was the one that was able, I think, to get to Caleb a little bit more consistent out of Hargrave and that defensive line. So I'm very, very curious to see what that might look like for the Vikings and the pressure they're able to get on the Bears or on Caleb Williams and see what they can see what that looks like. Because I think that Caleb has just been playing such an elite level as far as being his elusiveness. So I think that's a huge one.
Oh,
Harrison
for sure.
Smith, I wish he wasn't playing, but I don't think he played week 1 either.
He didn't play week 1, but he's definitely back now. So, I mean, look, Grenard has been a great player since he's been a great player in Houston. He was great in Minnesota last year, and he's been pretty good this year. Now, his sack totals aren't necessarily great, but I'm pretty sure his pressure numbers are up there. Yeah. So, having him out, obviously, anytime you have a star player out, is just going to make it easier for this offense, and we'll take it.
This is off topic, but I wish we could have had Will Campbell. I was watching the Patriots game on Thursday. Well, just imagine him and Wright.
Oh, over.
And then you got the inside. It would have been nuts. But of course, you don't get Loveland at that point.
Well, you can't even get him anyways because he went pick 5. So we wouldn't. He went off the board like immediately. Yeah. No.
But I like Loveland.
He went pick 3, I think. Right? It was.
They had no chance. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way they were going to get him.
But I'm just saying, if you somehow were to get him, there's no way you get Loveland too. But.
Yeah, no, Will Campbell looks dominant. Look, I am always for high draft picks on offensive tackles. So if it's next year, I know we're thinking a little far ahead, right? And you want to replace left tackle Benedette, which I think is still a fair option, and they go offensive tackle within the top 15, I'm never going to be mad about that.
We're not going to be picking the top 15.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
No, I will say this. I'm okay with that, but I think we need to get an edge rusher.
Oh, no, we need
it depends how the board falls, right?
Of course.
But yeah, we'll see. We got a lot of time for draft talk. Okay.
yes, we do.
That's enough.
It's actually funny. It's actually funny because we have not talked about the draft at all.
We
because
typically would be
winning. Yeah, 100% we'd be talking about the draft.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tankathon.com.
Facts. All right, let's get to the team overview here. And let's take a look at the team footballs. And if it's your first time here, just to give you a little context, this is just kind of an aggregation of all of the advanced analytics data to kind of rank where the teams are in their certain areas on offense and defense. I will say this for the Bears, kind of consistent from last year, but we got one more football in the rushing category. So that's great. Top 10 there. Passing is above average. Rushing has been pretty good, especially of late since the bye. We've been actually top 5 there. Blocking has been good. As we talked about 0 sacks last week. Shout out to Caleb Williams on that one. Looking at our defense, though, the exact same. Pass rush is still an issue. Run defense has been okay. Pass defense, I'm expecting we'll get more footballs once the injuries, once we get the players back that we just spent 5 minutes talking about. But of course, this defense is interesting because it's very hot or cold. It's bend, don't break. They'll give up 400 yards, but they'll also get 3 turnovers. So they win the game. It's a very interesting defense to play against. Now, looking at the Vikings, this is what you need to call out. Their offense is doo-doo. JJ McCarthy is graded out of the 35 quarterbacks that have started so far. I think he's graded out 34 to 35. He has been awful. He's had some hot quarters. Quarter number 4 against us is the first game, right? He won player of the week because of that fourth quarter.
I remember that.
Yes, unfortunately I do too. But
sick to my stomach.
Other than that, he's been awful. I think he has 5 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Not that is the only barometer of quarterback play, but just like in every advanced analytics, he has not looked good. What has been the mantra or the only winning formula for this team is Brian Flores, and we'll get to him later. But Brian Flores in this defense, they have a great pass rush with the new signings of Javon Hargrave, with Jonathan Allen. You got we just talked about Grenard. They got who's the Will? Well, I can't think of it. No, Dallas Turner, right? They have a pretty formidable defensive line, and obviously they send a lot of blitz pressures and things like that. So their defensive line is pretty good, at least from a pass standpoint. Run defense is actually, this was shocking when I was doing my review, they are 26th in run defense. Last year, they were top 5 in run defense. They added in new additions to that line and somehow got worse in the run game. So interesting there. And their pass defense has been pretty good, except in one area, which could be beneficial to the Bears. And I'll talk about that when we get to the keys of the game. But their pass defense is pretty well. So all in all, we're going against a Vikings team that the offense is inconsistent as hell. You don't know what you're getting. You're more than likely going to get bad, but you're going against a defense with Brian Flores, the mastermind, which may not be perfect every game, but that is not an easy task to take on, as we learned in week 1. I think he blitzed in week 1 against Caleb. I think he blitzed Caleb 52% of the plays. The highest, I think it's the highest rate in the NFL. That's every other play you are blitzing. And so that's something we got to pay attention to. I know the second round they'll be ready for that, but this is a really good defense that we're going against here.
I would like to say the Bears have a pretty good offense. I think they're figuring it out. So I'm excited to see part 2. I think the biggest for me, what I see as the lopside, the real advantage is the quarterbacks. Nothing against JJ McCarthy. I know it's technically his first year, rookie season, but I'm not been impressed. I know they came back and beat us. It frustrates me to say that, but that was a completely different Bears game. Bears team. So for me, I'm really excited to see what Caleb can do, because I think he is such a better quarterback right now. And usually when you have the better quarterback, you win the game. And so we'll see how this one goes. Also, no elements. You're going to be in a dome. Of course, you're in Minnesota, one of the tougher places to play. It's a divisional game, but to go to be 0-3 in your division is a death sentence, in my opinion. So I know you'd be 6-4. The season's not over, sure, but man, you need to get a win here. You need to go to 7-3 because there's going to be tougher matchups. So you want to take advantage of a team that I think on paper. I don't know if that's true. I think the Vikings have some really good talent. So I'm just saying when it comes to this type of quarterback versus quarterback, you have the advantage. Go out there, get a road win. Never easy, but this is a must win. This is a must win for Chicago.
For sure. There's no question about that. And we have a tough schedule coming up. This is one of the lighter, not that any game is easy or light, but definitely tough things coming up. So you got it. I
think Kevin O'Connell too. I think now this is early in Ben's, his first game ever. Mm-hmm. I think he got out coached, especially in that fourth quarter, some of that play calling. And then Brian Flores, I don't even know if he had the best game, but he also played well. So it's just like completely different teams now, right? For sure. Trending in completely different directions.
Yeah,
and
completely.
We talked about it earlier. We want the Bears. The Bears could be playing there. They truly are on. It's like they're almost on track to be playing their best football in December because like they're just slowly putting things together. Offense looking a lot better, less penalties. The defense is getting healthier. It's like, I'm not trying to jump ahead, but it's like, it seems like we've seen this trend for other teams where it's like, okay, watch out. Like they had a rocky October. November has been pretty good so far.
Yeah.
December comes around.
That's what you want.
Where the Bears are running the football really good, running towards 58 a lot, which is always good. So, yeah, must win, Fick. It's so funny to see that graphic though. The Bears have had a lot of footballs this year.
Yeah, 16 is probably the most we've seen ever since we've been doing this show. So, and that's now I want to say the past 4 games they've had more footballs than their opponent, and in that span they're 3-1. So that gives you hope.
Probably should have gave a couple more footballs to the Ravens.
To the Ravens, yeah, that's true. But I mean, look, they were a lot of that due to their injuries. But but that's how it was. Their defense was awful. But if they've had more footballs than their team, they've typically won it, other than the outlier Rams. So we'll see what happens. I feel confident about it. We'll see. We'll get to our score predictions here at the end, but they should go out here and win this. All right, we're gonna get to Vegas. We got key matchups, key to the games like we always do. Before we do that, we're going to get to a little ad break here. All right, we're going to get back to the episode real quick, but I had to take a moment to pause and tell you about something awesome that we have cooking up over here at the BFR podcast, and that is our Patreon membership. You can join our Patreon, the BFR Den, where we have a bunch of great exclusive stuff that happens monthly, like monthly giveaways, private Zoom calls, mailbag episodes, and much, much more to come. I mean, we've got tons of features in there. We've got 2 tiers. We have our top tier, which is $10 a month, our Hall of Fame tier. What comes with that, which is very exclusive, is our private Zoom calls with our members. So every month, you're going to get a private Zoom call with me, Dave, and Jack, and we just get to talk about whatever, shoot the shit, football, life. It's a wonderful time. And then if you want to go to the lower level, we have our Rookie Grizzly tier, which is $3 a month. And what that includes is like the private Discords, the monthly giveaways, the free merch, all the events if we have coming up, things like that, access to exclusive merch that's only for our Patreon members, and any other cool features. You'll get that at the $3 level tier. And then with the $10 level tier, you will get the private Zoom call as well. Now, you can join for free. We do post our monthly calendars in there, so you can kind of see what we have going on each month. And we post our episodes there as well. So if you want to join that ongoing community, which we keep building up, please do so at the BFR Den on Patreon. Also, as well, we give a shout out to all of our Patreon members every single episode that we do. So if you join, we'll make sure to show you some love on every episode as well. So again, you can join the BFR Den on Patreon at the BFR Den on Patreon. And we just love the support. You guys are great. Shout out to all our Patreon members, and let's get back to the show. Yeah, appreciate the love. Thank you to the Patreon members. Shout out Angie Wright, who won this month's free gift. You got the mug. She got it yesterday. So shout to you. I actually need
Hell
to get one of those so we can start drinking our even coffee out of that. I need to get one myself. But yeah, appreciate to all you Patreon members in there. 2 weeks, I think we have the Patreon monthly call. So if you want to get a chance to do that, you still got plenty of time to hop in there. Link is in the description, and join the Discord as well. We got a lot of fun stuff going on there. We just keep adding. It's been great. You guys have been fucking fantastic. So thank you all for the support.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of support and even coffee, like Vic said, we are drinking that this morning. We are partnered with them. Really, really great company, coffee shop, single serve pods that you can buy. You can use code BFR for $5 off. And just a little insight, they are a Chicago-based company, coffee shop, and they also support mental health. So each purchase, there's proceeds go towards just mental health. So it's really, really great. Obviously, Chicago, mental health. Check it out. Use code BFR again for $5 off. One of our favorite partnerships with them. So they've been great. We appreciate the support there as well. And if you can, hit that like button if you're watching live on YouTube.
Absolutely.
So let's go ahead and get to
our
next.
Before we had one question just because we were talking about it. From Donnie on Twitter said, has Jonathan Allen or Hargrave been good this year? I would say yes. I think together they have about 6 or 7 sacks, and together they've accumulated about 40 to 50 pressures, which is pretty good for an interior defensive line. So again, that D line, I know they're out Grenard, which is going to be helpful for us, but that D line has been pretty good when it comes to pass rush. Run game, not so much. It's interesting how you can have that duality, right? Same guys, but one, good against the run, but bad against the pass, or vice versa. Good against the pass, bad against the run. But yeah, that's definitely something this offensive line is going to have to be worried about. But they've done a pretty good job, and they've been solid this year. So it'll be a nice little matchup to see. But great question, Donnie. Okay, let's get to the Vegas odds here. Let's see what Vegas has, who they think's going to win. For the first time in a while, we are not favored. They have Chicago +3. Now, obviously, Minnesota gets the +3 they get a -3 because basically it's a home field advantage. So really, they're saying this is a 50-50 split type of game. Coin flip, anyone can win this one. Over under 48.5, which I'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not sure how I feel about that one. And then the money line is Chicago +130. Now, as we always say, we're not betting on these games because that's too much on my wallet and my mental. But if I was,
it's enticing on this one. It's enticing.
I know. If I was going to take one, though, I'll let you pick, Dave. Which one would you rock with if you had to pick?
I'm going money line Chicago.
Same. I like that one. +130 is definitely good odds. Over under 48.5 is quite interesting. I think the Bears can help.
It's a divisional game.
Yeah, but I mean, that's more than last week. And I was surprised about that because last week was 47.5. So I guess they're expecting more of a shootout. But yeah, that one's interesting. I would definitely take money line +3 too. I guess those are going to be quite the same, and depending what the odds are there. But yeah, I do expect the Bears to win. We'll get to the score predictions here, obviously. But definitely a favorable matchup for this team. It is tough. We're not used to being in this position, if you can tell. But let's get to the key matchups here. For me, it's got to be this Bears run game against the Vikings run defense. As I've talked about, the run defense this year is basically bottom 5, if not bottom 10 in all categories. They have not been great, very inconsistent, and the Bears running game has been on a heater. And you know what? As much as I love Caleb Williams and I want to watch him thrive and do cool shit, I love a balanced offense. I don't need Caleb throwing for 400. If he does, fantastic, right? That's great to know because you got your franchise quarterback. But I want you to be able to do whatever you need to do to win this game. The run game always helps out your quarterback, keeps the ball out of harm's way, and they've been running the ball well. Plus, Ben Johnson loves the run game. So
I love that we don't have Swift on there. It's Monungai.
It is
crazy.
I love Swift. I had him, so that was the same graphic from last week. Monungai at that point had been right off his heater game, but Swift has been fantastic.
He's been
Swift
good,
had that huge run on 4th down last week. Shout out to him. That was a big run. He doesn't get that. We probably don't win the game. And overall, Swift has looked much better since the bye week. And I think it's because they're doing what he needs to do. Like all of his best runs, we said this last week, have been outside the tackles. You want to do an inside the run, you're typically giving it to Kyle Monungai. I think they're just utilizing Swift more to his advantage. And we're seeing a little bit more of him in the passing game too, which has been fantastic. I think he started off the game. The first pass was to him, or maybe the second pass. The first one was to Rome. The second one was to him. But good to see overall that front running back room has been pretty fantastic.
He did drop one, but I'm glad though. I think I know what you're talking about.
He did drop one. He did
think it
drop
was
one.
the
Who
second
did? Who didn't? Who didn't drop one
It's
last
true.
week? I mean, my God.
Loveland.
It's true. He actually had the best catch too. That heater that Caleb threw across.
And if he would have dropped that one, that would have been like, okay, I understand that, but
he caught it.
He caught it.
That's funny.
So.
That is funny. Good stuff. All right, let's get to your key matchup here.
Yeah, I have Ben Johnson versus Brian Flores 2.0. I want to see what Ben could cook up here against Brian Flores. He's honestly, when he's like in the past, when he was with Detroit, he had his number. He had Brian Flores' number where he put up, I think, 30 plus on Brian Flores' defenses like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, at least both times.
I'm not saying we're putting up 30 again, but I want to see 30. I do want to see it. I'm not going to predict it, but I want to see what Ben Johnson is able to learn from week 1 and maybe put together a little bit better of a game plan and game altogether, because the Bears kind of controlled that game in week 1. And then obviously the fourth quarter is where it kind of just blew up in their face. J.J. McCarthy looked really, really good. It was so funny, the storylines that came out of that game, where it was like J.J. McCarthy, ice in his veins, blah, blah, blah. Now it's Caleb Williams, truly ice in his veins, 4 or 5 comeback wins or game-winning drives. He's been unbelievable. So that's why I want to see these two guys. And I think obviously with the quarterback situation, I think Ben Johnson has a leg up there.
Yeah, for sure.
But Brian Flores, you can't count him out. I don't care who's missing. So
no. He's a really good defensive coordinator, and he gives you different looks week after week. It's not like it's every week. He's just this blitz maniac. So it's going to be interesting.
I'm not as concerned either, though, because Caleb, it's not like his rookie year. He's how many starts now? 20 something?
He had all 17 last year, and we're what, 10 games through now? So yeah, about almost 30.
And obviously he's still learning a lot with Ben Johnson in year 1, but I think he is more comfortable, and he's not going to be as prone or susceptible to like what Brian Flores might be able to throw up. I'm not saying Brian Flores ain't going to get him 1 or 2, maybe 3, 4 times in this game, but they're not going to be costly because he doesn't throw the ball over, knock on wood here, does not throw interceptions. But I think Caleb is going to be able to adapt a little bit quicker than what, let's say if J.J. McCarthy was going against Brian Flores in a real game like this.
Well, even week 1, right? Because that's the first game of the season, new offense. We talked about the growth of this team, right? You're hoping that Caleb is more equipped,
penalties,
more comfortable in this offense, right? Brian Flores, still great defensive coordinator, probably will confuse him, dial him up a couple times, but you're hoping that he is more equipped to handle what's going to come this game versus what he did in week 1. Right. It's a much different team, like you talked about. It is funny. I didn't even think about the storylines, how the narratives have completely shifted, right? Because it was about, hey, J.J. McCarthy's here, and it was like,
all he does is win. Yeah.
Caleb Williams is the Bears missed on their quarterback again, but that's why you play all 17 games, everyone. But exciting stuff. Yeah, I
won't lie to you. I was nervous too. That was a tough one.
I was too.
I
was too. I was like, this fucking team, they'll never figure it out. But we were wrong. I'm more than happy to be wrong when this team is winning. But yeah, that's a good one. Now let's get to the keys of the game. We did talk about some of these, which is good because we know this team pretty well. But for me, I'll play the scheme and blitz. All right. You know that Brian Flores blitzed you 52% on the first week matchup. Let's see if he dials it up that much this time. If so, hopefully you're better equipped to out scheme it. Sure, you're not going to be able to score on every play, but if they're blitzing, I will say this. A lot of times you're blitzing, right? There's going to be someone open downfield. This is the 32nd ranked deep ball passing team in the NFL. Dead last. Dave, I don't know if you know this. I know you do. But you know who's the number 1 explosive passing offense in the NFL? And of
course I know.
It is the Chicago Bears. So I'm hoping that this is a matchup made in heaven, that we maybe dial up 1 or 2 plays that just gets them, like perfect play call against the blitz. We can get a big play on them. This one we've been kind of consistent about. It's either me or you picking this every week, but the run game going early, you see the correlation where if we run the ball well, we win the game. So I'm going to keep putting on there or something like it, because if you run the ball well, I feel comfortable about how the game is going to end. And then this one's huge. Make McCarthy uncomfortable. It's been shown. There's enough data now this season that shows when he is uncomfortable, he is bound to make mistakes. It just happens. And so, I mean, that's why he's got 7 turnovers or at least 7 interceptions. So this defense needs to get at him, get creative, Dennis Allen, find ways to attack this offense because it's not that great. It's not. They're also down their starting center, Ryan Kelly. I think Daresall's back. He's ready to go. But I think you can get McCarthy, and if you get him early at a young quarterback, we know how the effect that can have on a game starting off. So those are my keys to the game. Let's get to yours.
I like them. Yeah, so key number one for me is to play with the lead. I say this a lot, but I think it's on the road. It's really, really important to try to maybe get that crowd out of it, or at least tone them down a little bit. Minnesota's tough. The fans are going to be crazy, but if you can get out to a 10-0, 7, it's just scoring just getting to a lead is going to be so important here. I'm not nervous that, the Bears can't play from behind. We've seen Caleb just last week. They're down 10 in the fourth. You know what he did. He delivered, but I would love to see if they could just get to a lead here, and maybe keep it too, right? That'd be good. So key number 2, get at least 2 turnovers. I think JJ McCarthy's going to give you a couple. You're going to have to take advantage here. I'm not going to say they're easy, but whether it's a strip sack, whether it's, a interception, I think just getting to at least 2 would be huge in this game, especially if you limit yours and you win that margin 2-0 or 3-1 or something along those lines. I think would be massive for this team, because I don't think if the Bears play clean, no penalties, no turnovers, I don't think they can be beat this week. I truly don't. So unless they don't catch the ball, that's number 3 for me. This is huge. I think the way that the Vikings could really, truly stay in this game, and I'm not saying the Bears are going to blow them out, but I'm talking about where the Vikings can maybe be leading when they are, there's a scenario where the Bears are outplaying the Vikings, but due to drops, right, big time drops or something like that, I could see it where the Vikings might even be up by 3 because a drive is stalled because of a 3rd and something drop, right, by whether it might be Rome. I hope Zacchaeus is not playing as much. I like OZ. I really do. However, let's get Bird in there. I think Burden could have a huge game this week. And I think Ben Johnson is smart enough to know it might be time to ramp up those reps for 10. So those are my keys to the game. I think the Bears, I feel very, very confident. I truly do. I know we're going to get to our predictions, but they have a lot of things going in their favor right now, including momentum. And the Bears have a chance at first place. If the Lions lose to the Eagles and the Bears win,
crazy.
Soul, first place in the NFC North would be nuts, especially heading into the back half, or not the back half, 4 divisional games left?
Yep. Yeah, Vikings 2.
Sorry, 3 more.
No. Well, yeah, counting this one will be 4. You're right. But yeah, crazy stuff. It's definitely, the division is still open. I don't know if I'd bet to say we win that, but you never know. That's why you play the game.
But the odds go up.
Huge.
Massive.
Correct.
I already said it earlier. The Bears win this, they have a 66% chance to make the playoffs. They lose it, it drops to 34%.
Yep. That's all it takes is one game.
And right now, they're the 6th seed in the NFC North.
Crazy.
Or in the NFC for the wild card. So
hopefully not the 6th seed in the NFC North. We're asked if that's the case. Yeah. So good we couldn't even make the top 4. Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, look, it's possible. Anything is possible. That's why you got to win every game in front of you, right? So just take this one, and it's a good opportunity. So speaking of good opportunities, finally look at us doing. Well, actually, no, I don't know if you won, Dave. I definitely did. I think you lost on yours. Sorry, I didn't mean to rub that in.
Yeah, I said
not great.
2 touchdowns for Rome, I think.
Yeah, he had 1. You're close. He had 1. He probably would have had 2. Well, no, he didn't drop 1.
No, that was
a pass interference. You're right. That was DJ. But still not looking so great on the bold takes. But that's all right. That's why they're bold. We love them. I'm gonna start with mine here though. Bears have 400 plus total yards on offense. I don't think they've done that once.
Bold? Is that bold?
Yeah, I think so. They've only done that against the Bengals. And this is a better defense. So this is what I'm thinking, right? They've been able to eclipse 150 rushing yards. That's easy. But when they do that, they haven't been able to pass for over 250, right? So, it sounds like it's not a lot, but like Caleb's had a couple games where it's like 206, 212, nothing too crazy. So this is what I'm envisioning. 150 plus passing yards. And I'm going to say Caleb gets around like 270, right? which is tough against this defense. You do that against Brian Flores, that's great. And I kind of want it because that's a statement game. And then also I wanted to make sure this was bold enough. So I looked to see what the Minnesota Vikings defense, how many games they've given up 400 yards passing. They've only done it once, not passing, total yards. They've only done it once this season. So definitely a taller task to do. I would love to see it happen. I think it can. I think there's an opportunity for it to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. This one for you, which is, it shouldn't be bold, but it is because of this team. But
yeah, you're playing inside to a dome, so we'll see. But 0 drops the whole game. I'm trying to speak this into fruition, but I think the Bears, there's talent there. The drops they're going to, it's going to stop. It's not going to be as frequent. Rome, I understand these guys are some of the best. Like I said, they're professionals. They're here for a reason. Just catch the damn ball. Caleb, maybe take off a couple RPMs on some of these,
these throws. Zipping them, bro.
So I get that, but that's my bold take, man. Looking for number 4 on the year. I'd love to get this one.
I can't see another drop ball. Like if you have 1 a game, that's fine. 1 or 2. If it's something like we've seen probably the past 2 games, I'm gonna lose my mind. Even if we win, it's just so infuriating. And I saw that 3 of the 4 drops out of the 7 last week were either on 3rd down or 4th down, which means that it stops the drive. So it's not like they're dropping it on 1st. You're like, oh, you can bounce back. Yeah, you still got 2 more plays. It's like, no, the drive is over. So that it really makes it infuriating. What's not infuriating though is our score predictions. Let's get to it here. Let's see here. So where we're at, look at that. Both in the winning column. We love to see it. Over 500. I'm exactly with the Bears 6-3. Dave is 5-4. So we've only been different on 1 game. Getting to our our score predictions here though. I have the Bears winning 27-20. I think it's hard to say for this defense that they're not going to give up 20 points. That's typically what they do, but this offense has been rolling and humming. I wouldn't be surprised. I was being a little conservative, but if I want them to get to 400 plus total yards, I could see them eclipsing 30 points. But either way, this is a win in my book. That's all I give a fuck about. We'll take it. Get us to 7-3. How about you, Dave? What do you have?
Very similar, 26-23. I think it's going to be another close game that the Bears win. I don't want it to be close, but I just feel like these divisional games, you're on the road. The Vikings are going to be they're playing for something too, man. We saw it with the Baltimore Ravens. Season's kind of on the line here for them. They lose this, it's a massive loss, and just like the Bears, if they win this, it's a massive win. So there's a lot of line for both teams. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I understand J.J. McCarthy. I don't have too much faith in him, but I've already seen him beat us. So a little nervous about that, but I think the Bears hopefully come away with a win here, and it would be huge. It would be huge.
You know what would be fantastic is if we can win winning clutch games are great, but it's not a great it's something that you can't rely on, right? Because just get a clear win would be nice. Like, can you just be up by maybe 14 points in the 4th?
Yeah.
And just feel comfortable about it. Look, love that this team has the mental fortitude, in the clutch moments, they play their best, but can we just beat a team that we're better at and just kind of feel good, going into the 4th quarter? That would be nice. But hey,
we'll see.
You're never going to apologize about a win in the NFL. They're hard to come by, as Ben Johnson says, and as we know. So we'll take them in any sort of way, fashion, form, or color. So appreciate that. All right, let's get to our final ad read here, and then we got our Monday headlines, we got our shout outs, and then we'll end the show. So appreciate everyone being here as always on these Saturday morning pods. We love doing this. You guys show out, so we're always going to be here for y'all. But let's get to the final ad read right here. All right, before we close out the show, I got to tell you about some awesome stuff that we have cooked up on the BFRstore.com. As you can see here, we have hats, hoodies, mugs, stickers, a whole bunch of fire stuff, and we're always working on new creative designs. Maybe jerseys coming. Yeah, who knows? But you can check it all out at thebfrstore.com. All the proceeds from the merch store just goes back right into the show. And plus, we want to give you fire stuff because we want to look fly all the time, and we want y'all to look fly as well. So if you want to support the BFR show, go to thebfrstore.com. We appreciate all the love and support. Now let's get back to the show. Absolutely. Actually, Dave, not to put you on the spot, but repping the hoodie, fire. Yeah, it looks very comfortable, so I definitely got to get mine for this month. But if you want to look fly like Dave and you want some comfortable stuff, thebfrstore.com. And we are working on some new stuff as we always are. So excited to drop that. We did drop a mug that we talked about, Angie, on our Patreon. If you want to join that, one of our mugs, so you can have it for the show. We should probably get those as well. But if you want to do that, you can go to thebfrstore.com. All the support, all the proceeds, literally just go right back into the show so we can keep giving you guys like top tier shit. So appreciate everybody for all the support, whether it's just a like, a subscribe, which you should do, or if you support us through the Patreon, Discord, anything in between. We appreciate all of y'all. So thank you. Let's get to the headlines here, see what we got, and then we'll do our shout-outs like we always do. If I can figure out where to find it, that'd be important. But let's get to the Monday headlines. All right, I had to figure out a way, man. It was tough, but I said one game closer to 9 wins, right? As you know, with JJ McCarthy, if you are not aware, he has a alter ego called 9 because that is his jersey number, which is quite interesting to have an alter ego when both your alter ego and you kind of suck. So it's interesting that you're bringing out the nicknames when you're not playing well, but it would be one game closer to 9 wins. I think both you and I had predicted, that was our projection from the beginning of the season, was we expected they'd have 9 wins. So you had 7 wins and you still got 6 games left to play. Things are looking pretty good. The odds are in your favor to at least get 9, and maybe you can get into the double digits. So should be exciting stuff. All right. Yeah. Let's get to yours.
I have
let's get to you. There you go. Sorry.
Yeah. Payback is sweet. I kept it simple. I almost actually went with something like that, the 9 wins, which is hilarious because I did not know that. But I have just payback is sweet. This is a big one. I want to answer a question. Where did I got this hat from? This was from Fanatics. You can check it out. I put the link on my Twitter months ago because I copped this, I think, in the summertime, but you can check it out. I think Fanatics. I don't remember the name of it though, like the design.
Cool. So yeah, this will be payback is sweet. That will be nice. And it'll be fire. Oh, sorry, I just got confused because Dave left. But yes, this game will be huge for the Bears. They cannot start the division 0-3. You will not make the playoffs if you're 0-3. Oh, what's up, Leah? Yeah. What's your
say hi? Do you think the Bears are going to win this week? Yeah.
All right, it's signed, sealed, delivered. There it is. You heard it here first. Guaranteed win. Then I love it. So, love that. Fantastic.
He's funny.
He is. He's a little cute one too, with no teeth in the front, right?
I know he lost them, man. Yeah, he's got a little basketball game too here in a little bit, but yeah, we'll see. He's excited about tomorrow. He's kind of lucky because he's starting to know, like actually know. So he doesn't remember all those losses.
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that.
Except for last year. I think the last year was tough on him. Some of the kicks that were blocked, he could not believe it. But this year, he's starting off right. Bears are winning, so I'll take it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was when obviously I think people know, but we got Kyle called us out on Good Morning Football, which was hilarious. But there was someone who commented and was like, my 6-year-old, it was like my grandson never gave up hope, but you and Dave did. I go, in my head, I'm like, your 6-year-old grandson hasn't gone through 30 years.
I will say this too. Big Cat, he said that nobody should be judged on in-game tweets because it's meant to be emotional. It's meant to be that way. So love Kyle, but I'm 100%. You cannot judge somebody for emotional in-game tweets. The timestamp, if it is during the game, if it's after, absolutely 100%. That's all game for it. And mine, I'll be honest, it was not nearly as bad as yours, Fick.
Oh, I love mine up too.
Yours was rough. I just said they were. I said they were about to hand New York Giants their first loss. That was a fact. It looked like they were about to. You're over here
when I tweeted mine. I tweeted mine early third though, so it was after the 4th down they went for it and they didn't get it. So nobody
should be judged though. Shout out to Kyle.
I love it though. Hey, thank you, Kyle. I think that's hilarious though. I thought that was.
Oh yeah, I had people, family texting me.
I thought that's.
And of course, we got tagged on Twitter as well. So
yeah, no,
we'll get him on the show.
Yeah, we definitely will. We'd love to hear his thoughts on it. But I mean, it's fair. Look, that it's like the trauma of this team. If this team wins like 3 seasons where it's like they're above 500, there will be less tweets of those because you'll feel more confident about, like, for example, you think Nick Wright is worried about even when the Chiefs are not doing well. Do you think he's like, oh, wow, like this isn't going to work? No, he has enough data points to be like, this team finds out ways to win. We are not there yet, but we could be there in a couple of years. We'll have to see what happens, but all love in the game. That's what Twitter's for. It's all fun stuff. So we do appreciate all that stuff. Okay. Let me see what we got here. Okay. So we went through everything. Appreciate that. Thank you guys for tuning into the Bears Film Room, #1 show for the fans, by the fans. We really do appreciate all of you. We want to show you guys a love and support, so that's exactly what we're going to do now, starting with our Patreon Hall of Fame Grizzly members. Shout out to Michael from across the pond. Shout to Gage, who bought a sticker this week. We really do appreciate that. We got Phil as well, Michael Berry Sr., Angie, who got the free mug. Shout to you. Daniel Jones, thank you for the 10-pound super chat. Thomas Whitty, shout to you as well. Tito, and then Dave. Appreciate all of you Hall of Fame Grizzly members. And, of course, we got to give love to our rookie Grizzly members as well. Alex, who's probably lifting as we speak. Chris, Ethan, Caleb, Jason, and our newest member, Megan. Thank you guys so much. We really do appreciate all of you. And then we also have to show love to our Discord members as well, because every week, if you want to join the Discord, it is free. Link in the description. We run a weekly score prediction contest where you just predict, who you think the score is going to be, who's going to win, and the winner wins a gift card to our BFR store. We've been giving them out since week 1. It's been awesome. So we got to give a shout out to the winner of this week, who's actually a 2-time winner now, Muck. So shout out to Muck. 2-time winner. I think he won 2 weeks ago and he won last week. So shout to you. If you want to get into the contest, you still have time, right? We normally capture them before the game starts. You can go to the link in the description for the Discord. It is free to join. A bunch of great conversations in there, a whole bunch of stuff, not just Bears football, even though that is the main topic, a whole bunch of other sub channels of different types of topics and things. It's been a great time. So shout to you, Muck. Obviously, shout to the Patreon members. You can join the Patreon down below if you want to catch our monthly call that's coming up in 2 weeks at the end of the month, and our giveaways that are in there as well. And you get private access, a certain access within the Discord as well for our Patreon members. VIP access was the word I was looking for. So appreciate that. Dave, anything on that? Otherwise, we're going to run through the rapid fire.
I've got nothing right now. Let's knock these out for sure.
Okay, so we got Imperil with the hashtag OG. If we lose to the Vikings, we are frauds. They are awful with 9. Look, if we lose, Dave said it multiple times, playoff hopes are looking very slim, very slim. I do want to see Iceberg had Bears 34, Vikings 20. Love that. And then we got Mr. James here, says, I miss Sears Tower. Well, he can't be here and tweet at the same time. So that's why he's not here. So shout out to you, Mr. James, true OG. And then, Dave, this one's for you. Do you like the Iceman nickname?
I love it. I love it too. Oh, my God, I love it. When you factor in where he plays in Chicago, obviously he had the winter game. He's clutch. It's a really good name. It's a really good nickname.
Yeah, I rock with it, and it's well-deserved because I think this is slept on, but he has the Bears tied with the Bears franchise record of 4 comeback games this season. Like, that's impressive. So if there's one thing you want to take away from Caleb and, like, that can give you hope is that man is clutch when he needs to. And then as well, give a shout-out here to Mari Cecil. Hopefully I said that right. 5794 on YouTube, hashtag BFR. Awesome. So that is it. Dave, any final thoughts, anything on your end?
Nope. Just hit that like, subscribe button. We appreciate the support. We're almost at 11,000 subscribers. So again, thank you all. We'll be back tomorrow right after the game like we always are to recap. You guys can get your voicemails in by following the pod on all socials at BFR_pod. And of course, follow Dave or follow Vicky and I. Had our socials here. Yeah, follow me.
Follow Dave too as well.
Yeah. Follow me. No, if you want though, follow me on TikTok. A lot more content over there. Also the BFR TikTok, Vicky as well. Just all socials. You'll see it on the screen. You can, if you go to our profiles on X or Twitter, whatever you guys call it, you'll see our links there. So again, thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bear down.
Peace.